fantastic pains and how we hide them. And I'm not Chris.
And I'm not Karina.
But we're here together.
As usual.
Indeed. Back with more shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put a little flair on the intro.
I know. I tripped over my tongue a little bit.
I thought that was
having,
intentional.
Spasms.
I feel bad for calling you out. How dare you?
Never. It's fine. It's all good. I would have called it out myself too. I was like, didn't like how that sounded.
I think it sounded good. It sounded like you just put a little panache.
Fantastic pains.
Yeah, you went Southern.
Yeah.
I get you.
Oh no. I'm going to get stuck in an accent for the next hour.
Oh, I hate that. Oh God. No, I have to try not to do it.
I swear I'm not mocking anybody. It's just my ADHD.
You ever do it in text form?
Mm-hmm.
Like when people use their own regional dialect and you start using it too when you're talking to just them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Constantly.
Mm-hmm.
It's really funny when you get me in a room with sassy Mexicans. Because then it all just comes loose and I'm like, oh my God, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. You know what time it is?
It's time for the weekly recap.
Check in.
Yay. Ding. I've just accepted it.
Hey.
It is what it is.
At least I was going to say at least I got it right in my head. And then
and then you're like, wait.
My brain was like, it's recheck, right? I was like, no, you idiot. It's not recheck. She just said it. So apparently I haven't gotten it.
I hope I didn't say recheck.
No.
Okay,
you
good.
did not. It's time for the weekly recap. I see I even had to stop again.
Your brain just refuses to, it's like, no, there is no pathway that leads to that word.
Just like we only have 36 subscribers.
No.
It's turned to 48 now for some reason.
In your brain?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So we have 48.
Is that the TikTok number or something?
No. I don't know why it's that number.
That's
something
weird.
about it being 94 translates to 8 or 48 in my head. I don't understand it, but that's where we're at, okay?
Okay.
Do you want to do your week first?
I'm going to have to think about that. Sure.
Because I always go first.
Yeah.
But.
Well, and my week wasn't the death of me, but it wasn't great. It was a
week.
Yeah. I'm on fall break now, which is amazing. I'm so excited to just be unconscious for a lot of days. I get to rest with no guilt and get my house back in order and
oh, that'll be really nice.
Yeah, because my husband and I don't have the same break for this one, which is weird because my other two line up. So we have our next two breaks together, but not this one.
You just needed it. It worked out that way.
Yeah.
So.
And it's fine. I don't mind. I like having time to myself and time to do what I want to do. So I'm excited for break. I'm we're going to get to do stuff, maybe do a Wednesday episode.
Oh God, I've been wanting to do Wednesday episodes for so long.
Maybe we'll film more than one so we can put out a few.
Yeah, I mean if you have the time and you're up for it. I don't want to steal your chill time.
No, again, do you cost me spoons? No.
Same.
We don't cost each other spoons. It's just good company.
Yeah.
So
fair.
that I'm excited for as well. Getting to just hang out and not be on a huge time limit or a timeline.
Yeah.
Sounds really good. But yeah, so this week, I don't know, the spasms got really bad. I was having really bad, just episodic yuck. That went with fleshing, but only on the left side.
Yeah.
And then I was researching, the paroxysmal dyskinesias.
Hey, you did it.
Yeah. But in my research, I was learning that it often affects one side worse than the other, or strictly one side of the body.
Am I right?
Which is really fascinating to me. But yeah, so that's how I was soothing over the week. I was
understanding what's going on.
Yeah, I needed more information. So I went through and did that. But I also had a day where I wasn't feeling great, and I was having a hard time coping with it. And I wound up just accidentally. I didn't even seek her out for that.
It just worked out that you bumped into her.
Right. So I was asking her a different question. She was like, "You all right?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I'm not, but it's okay." And she was like, "Well, sit down and tell me about it. I'm here for adults too." And I was like, "Oh, okay, sure."
We didn't say it's the counselor therapist.
Yeah, she's like an outside party, but works within the school, which is interesting. Yeah. So it's all confidential anyway, which is great.
As you go on the podcast and talk about
Right.
it, it's confidential.
Well, parts of it I won't share, I don't really know what I'm not sharing. I'm sharing here. But she had a really interesting kind of approach to what I was giving her, and it was kind of a different angle on everything that we already do.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just like, what if you were to change your relationship with pain? And so part of me, you know how you get that, like, oh, she doesn't understand. I have my relationship with pain is fine. Yeah. But the way she approached it was just genuine enough that where she was like, what if you were to, in those moments, let the pain in? And she was like, maybe you need to start thinking about like reintegrating the body into yourself instead of being so separate that like this is a battle for you all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's an uncomfortable idea. It's not a bad one. It's just uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But she was like doing some like mindfulness in moments of pain. I'm like, oh, I already do that for like coping. And she was like, no, like really being in your body.
Yeah.
So that was, I don't know, it was just something that hit home, I guess, for me, where I was like, okay, I guess I could like examine my relationship with the pain and how I do that. And then I started to realize that like we dissociate. We're like, oh, it's pain, we're bailing out. Or, oh, it's pain, we're going to lock that down. Like, and your instinct still is to like move away from it. Right.
Instead of embracing it.
Right. And so that whole like embracing it as part of what's with you, it's just interesting.
That annoys me because it's something that I've heard before and I liked it, but I always forget it.
Yeah.
And it's like when you're having a really bad time and just accepting it and breathing in and being in pain.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
right.
I like it. I like doing it when I remember to do it.
Well, and it's really soothing. Like,
yeah.
Because you know how when your body is freaking out, you have to work really hard to keep the brain in check so you don't go into fight, flight, freeze, fawn, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a different kind of soothing when you just are like, okay, I'm going to stop the tension. I'm going to breathe into my body and sit with the pain.
And I used to do it. That used to be my coping skills as a teenager.
Yeah.
That was it. It was like, it's just pain. Let it be. And it's like, as I got older and it got worse, it got harder to do, I guess.
Right.
So I moved away. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's annoying to me that it's like a tool I had and I just haven't used it.
Right.
In a long time.
Yeah. Like rediscovering it and being like, oh yeah.
What the fuck have I been doing?
Right. So like in those moments of like panicky, like you want to move away from the pain, but it's in you.
Yeah.
I've been trying to like practice that and just breathe it in and go, okay, this hurts and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of like, it hurts, but it's okay. Like it hurts and it's okay.
Well, when you sent me that message, because I had that one really bad day and you sent me basically the same thing I sent you, but you worded it where it was like, oh God, what was it? It was, it's not forever, but like you're in pain, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. I gotta go find it now because I was worried. I was like, I don't know what I can say.
Well, and I tried to respond in like, because I said it again and I was like, fair. And I didn't want that to come off like I was being an asshole. I was genuinely like, no, that's a good point.
Right.
I wanted to see what it was because it was good. I liked it. And it kind of put me in that mode where I was like, okay.
I said, not great, but not forever.
Yeah, not great, but not forever.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Well, and I was like, it's a lot right now. Yeah, no, I think that was like literally it. I was like, I don't know how to. And then it was, it's so funny. It all goes full circle, right? Like I had to think about what it was that you said to me and go short and to the point, but also letting you know that I care about you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that was what I needed to give and was able to do it, I think.
Oh, no, it was super successful.
Good.
Should I go on to my week?
Yeah.
Because Jesus.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a bad week. I just had a really bad 2 days because I started the week with
It's
fevers.
like Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had random EDS fevers because I wasn't sick. Like, I only had the fevers, but I hallucinate when I have fevers, and I have like nightmares, and I was fun for 2 days. And then Wednesday, Thursday hit, and I was overwhelmed by the physical. Everything was going wrong, and I was noticing new things and recurring things, like my shoulders are getting bad again, and it's getting colder, and
you're starting to have some movement.
Oh stuff. The jerks. I've been getting the hand jerks. If I tense my arm, it has a tendency to just unwillingly shoot off in a direction, or
yeah.
As
That's
long
when
as
you like chuck things across
right, exactly.
the room.
As long as I keep it perfectly calm, it doesn't happen. So I noticed that, and then I was just emotional at the same time. So I was Thursday or Wednesday, whatever day it was. I was like,
it was Thursday.
I'm having a hard time surviving the day.
Yeah,
it was just so much. And I was trying everything. Like, I tried soaking, I tried distracting, I did the exercises. Like, I was like in it. I didn't let the pain in, which until you messaged me, because that was the moment where I was like, you're right, this is okay. Yeah, that helped a lot, like a lot.
Good,
because I was kind of hitting a peak. Time was not moving. Yeah, at all.
That's exactly it. Holy shit!
Like, I was in it and it just stopped.
It was forever. Yeah. And that's exactly it. I think that's why it feels like forever when you're in it. Yeah. It's like, I don't know, in my brain, it's almost like Silent Hill. Yeah. Right? I get that. It's two sides to the same coin, but once you're in one, you're like, oh, I've always been here. Right. Exactly. And then on the other side, you're like, oh, I've always been here. So you can't see the other side from the other side. Like, it just, oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So when you sent me that message, I was like, cool, help is on the way. Like, because Jen was going to help me when she got off work at like whatever time it was in the afternoon. But I was able to get it together after that, which was really helpful. I felt bad because, like, so that was a bad day for me too, because I had really bad spasms the night before. Ugh. Oh, and I'd been walking around on a dislocated ankle for 2 days and days and days. Great. And it was because of a spasm spell. So, like, it was a really bad episode that was just taking everything out. Like, taking everything out. It was just dislocation after dislocation after dislocation. It's so fucking weird over to think and over about. And over and over and over again. And I had one so bad because if I turn my head and I get like the head jerk, it is so much worse because my head literally is trying to go this way from here, like from the side. And I did it to, it was so violent that it took something out in my neck that like left me with eye pain and tooth pain in the front. Oh God. Which was just weird. You did something to your sinuses, like. Yeah. Like, it messed me up. But yeah, no, I'd been walking around on dislocated ankle, and then it was Thursday when you were having a really hard time that I was at home because I didn't go to work. I was like, I cannot walk on it. Can't go to work. We're done. And so I was in it too. So I was like, I wish I could help you, and I want to help you, and I want to get to you, but I also can't. Because I knew you had a horrible night too, because you had been talking in the Discord. So at the same time, I was like, I don't want to reach out because she's having a bad time, but I'm having a bad time. So what do? Right. I'm glad I did. Yeah. But Jesus. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's not been the worst week, but when it's when it's on, it's intense. Yeah. Like, really intense. So, yeah. Oh, and my teeth are disintegrating. Oh, yeah. So I had a gummy bear, and we know my track record with gummy bears. This is the third tooth that's been destroyed by a gummy bear. Tasty little bastards. You'd think I'd learn. Like, oh, it happened once. Bad. Oh, shit, it happened again. No more gummies for me. And then the third time I was like, I really want gummy bears. They're so good. And I'm chewing them so softly. I'm like very softly squishing them. And then I forget. And then I'm like, and then crack to the tooth. Yep. And it's been slowly falling apart. I need to get my teeth fixed. I need to get all my teeth removed and then get implants or dentures. Mm-hmm. I don't care. I need to find that phone number so I can text her about what the program was. Yeah. Because I know there is one. I tried finding it, but I could not. Yeah, and I don't know. I need to get a hold of her. So nag me about that,
Yeah.
because I forget. If I'm not like instantly looking at something, I'm like, oh, it doesn't exist anymore. Whee!
I was doing the same thing you did though. When my teeth were falling apart, I was researching like how EDS affects the tooth structure and how it affects your gums. And
what did you learn?
that it affects the structure. Basically, it was reaffirming that it's not like
it's not us.
Right.
We didn't do this.
It's not like I was an idiot and you know what I mean? Like people don't eat gummy bears. That's like
because you do. What is it about the dentist that makes you feel so fucking guilty all the time?
It's the nature of the dentist.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, I go in and like the last time I went in, I needed them to look at these other 2 teeth.
Yeah.
But I was like, I just have this one. I'm sorry. I don't know what I did.
I just seem so disappointed in you all the time, and you're like, this is your job. Shouldn't you be happy that my teeth are a mess? Stop it.
Or at least just be nice and helpful.
Right. No. Can't
gotta have the condescension.
Yeah. I have a root canal on Tuesday.
Hey.
Yay. So fun.
Another root canal. Jen had one or is getting one. Oh no, she has a cap. She's got a temp on and she's
got to get a crown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I learned from the dentist that there are chemicals in the fillings that can kill the root.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Because this next one is there's nothing wrong. Like there should not be a problem with it. So it's happening from the filling. The filling is causing the problem.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a cap when they did the first root canal on my tooth. Mm-hmm. The one where they didn't drill out the nerve.
Yeah.
And then no one helped me. They sent me to a surgeon, but at the time I didn't have any insurance.
Yeah.
So I was basically going to him and he was like, well, you don't have insurance, so I'm not going to do it.
Right.
But they left half of the nerve in because there was an extra nerve. Like sometimes they said, sometimes there's an extra one.
Oh, Jesus.
And so like this was all swollen for a good couple of months and I think it died. Yeah. But it still hurts occasionally just to chew on it. So I don't know. Yeah. Teeth are complicated.
They're just fucking terrible. And and it's hard to remember when you're like, it's EDS. It's not that you suck. Like this is an EDS thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it sucks ass, man. Such bullshit.
Yep. So should we move to topic?
I think so.
Topic number 1.
I'll let you introduce it. This is his pet project. Pet topic.
Welcome to PTSD. And how we cope with it. We don't.
We don't.
The end.
We go to therapy.
Yes, we do. So this week I had an interaction with someone that triggered me hard. Like we were talking and suddenly he said something and the hairs on the back of my neck stood up on end and I was in instant like fight or flight.
Yeah.
And I just it was horrible.
Ooh. Yeah.
Oh, I remembered another
I had to
topic,
come over.
Yeah, I had to have you come over.
Yeah.
Because I was too much. It was a lot to deal with. And it was an overreaction, but it was because of the trauma.
Right. It's a trauma response.
Right. And it took me like 3 days to comprehend, or at least
like
talk myself into it, you know? Like, I was like, God, that was such a
like
stupid thing to say.
Through.
Because the way I reacted was like super harsh. It was like gut reaction without thought.
Yeah.
So I was like, you did this. Oh, why did I say that? You know what I mean?
But luckily they weren't like upset with you.
No. I talked to them again afterwards. So it was just so guttural.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and without details, but yeah, no, when you told me about it, I was like, ooh,
right.
That feels disgusting. That feels super gross. Like, no, thank you.
Right.
Absolutely not.
The interesting part was Jen was there too. Like she was there for the whole interaction and she saw it happen. Really? I watched her watch me, but I was in it, so I couldn't do anything like proper. Right, I wasn't reacting. I was in
you were
reaction.
Protecting yourself.
Yeah. But she tried to calm it down. Mm-hmm. She was like, it's not this. It could, it's, and I'm like, like, don't you dare.
Yeah. Icky.
Yeah.
Icky.
Everybody say hi to Kosho. He wants to be a podcat.
Podcat. He's a co-star.
Yeah, he is.
The co-show star.
He's a good boy.
Oh, you say yeah? There you go.
He doesn't mind either, watch. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll come right back.
You want to go roll around?
He just likes to talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. It's been interesting because we've been talking about like trauma responses a lot kind of through the week too.
Yeah.
And like learning things because god damn it, TikTok.
Yeah, no joke.
Fuck.
Once TikTok has like an inkling that you have like trauma, it's like, hey, look at all these other people that have trauma. You want to be with them, right?
Right? And
Like-
then you like see things and you're like,
Oh my God.
that's a trauma response? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did I say earlier? I don't have a personality. I just have trauma.
Trauma, yeah.
Yeah. That's how it's been feeling.
No joke.
But yeah, no, PTSD is
Well,
it is something else.
At the time, I didn't think of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I felt bad for what I said, so I was like spending time thinking about it. And then I was like, oh my God, that was just a trauma response. It was, I wanted to fight. And then I was like, I've got to bail. I'm not doing this.
Yeah. 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 Well, and it's a big piece of that, like trying to keep control, and trying to like maintain your independence in a way, like, having that threatened. And I think that's why, like, it's so weird because you have to look at it and be like, okay, which part is like the illness and which part is
exactly like trying to separate the two.
Yeah.
Was really hard.
Like how much of it is rooted in reality versus like this is just trauma and how I'm responding to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I really spent time thinking on it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I had to figure out if I was being rational,
Mm-hmm.
like which parts were rational and which parts were just irrational reaction.
Yep.
And I think I sorted it out. Like I said, we talked after a few days.
Yeah.
So, but
and it's hard to explain.
Yeah.
It's really hard to explain. Like, how do you go about doing that? And kind of like coming back to a situation being like, I'm really sorry. I'm an asshole sometimes.
I was proud of myself for doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I was
well,
like,
that's huge.
Yeah. Like, hey, you didn't let it sit in the back of your mind. Yeah.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. I'm horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I can talk to this person.
Right. Which is enormous just overall because we don't deal with conflict well.
No.
Just as a whole. Our first instinct is to book it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's huge. And it's a big, I don't know, like signs of growth. Which is interesting because we're not like nice to ourselves. We can't be like, hey, good job, buddy.
Right. No.
Like,
it's more of a like, Jesus, finally you got there.
Right. Hey, you didn't fuck it up this time. Good job.
Today I'm going to cosplay as someone.
It's time to cosplay as a person
who has their shit together.
That's been me all week. All week.
It made me think of you. I was like, oh, and she's at work.
Yes. I relate to that really hard.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep.
Hardcore masking.
Yes. That's so frustrating too. Like I've been really just unhappy about being high functioning. Like that's
doesn't it feel unfair?
Me off. Yes.
It's like if I wasn't functioning, people would see it and I would have to deal with it in this way.
Yeah.
But because you're high functioning, you get to see it, you know it, and you would have to experience it.
Yeah. And mask it and be high functioning. Like,
it's an extra level.
Oh my God, it's so exhausting. I'm like, why?
Oh my God. It's got to be
What is wrong with me?
Why am I like this?
What is right with me that
Fair.
I am high functioning? That's so frustrating.
Yeah.
What did I say? I wrote it down because I've been actually like pain journaling.
Yeah, you said.
Which is different.
Well, and it's a tool we've talked about before.
Yeah. And it's hard to maintain. Like it's really hard to maintain.
It's like I said, I have several pain journals around the house that are basically one entry. Today I did this horrible thing and I need to remember it.
Yeah. Well, and I think that has been the driving force for me to continue doing it because I'm like, I can't explain this when I'm not in the moment.
Right.
It's so hard
to
go back and like collect details and hope that I've collected enough of them that a doctor will like look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So having this, I'm like, okay, I can actually explain it in the moment in writing. What was it I said? Because now I've lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I've always been able to cope when I know it's not a serious problem, but I'm just so tired. It's exhausting to be responsible for being a functioning human when I have to carry all of this extra stuff and mask at the same time.
Yep.
There you go. So that's, yeah. No, it's not a fucking fun time.
No. God, no.
And then kind of like trying to unravel, because I don't know, we've been kind of diving more into our own trauma recently.
Yeah.
Like I think in the last like year, 2 years, we've done a lot of work.
Oh my God. First was acceptance.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Yeah.
Just at all.
Right. Being like, hey, yeah, you were traumatized.
Right.
Several times.
This happened.
In different ways.
It happened, and it wasn't normal. And
yeah, and also it wasn't your fault.
Right. Exactly.
Which is the hard detail to get. So you're like, everything was my fault.
I can't believe that I caused this situation that's out of my control to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No joke. Yeah, it's not an easy thing at all.
No.
Kind of going through it and then trying to like explain it to people, but also kind of maintain that like structure.
That was the hardest part of talking about it afterwards, because I was trying to describe my actual feelings on the matter.
Right.
But then also explain why I reacted the way I did.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to, like, because it involved other people. I didn't want to, like, paint people in bad light or...
Right. Or, like, feel like you were starting drama and stuff.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Well, and with the same person, I've had the same thing happen when I heard about the being church leader thing.
Yeah.
Where, like, I was just like, huh? Let me just, whoa.
Right.
Whoa. And then having them be like, what was that reaction?
Like, why did you?
Because trauma.
Reasons. You turn into a little kid. I'm not gonna tell.
You do, too. You do. You turn into a little kid where you're like, uh-oh. Like, what do I do?
Yeah. You're on the spotlight. You're like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Jesus. It's not easy. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work. And it's a lot of work to like be responsible for your own self and your own emotions.
Oh God. What is it? It's taking responsibility for your feelings. It's just it's insane.
Yeah.
I'm proud that we can do that now.
Right.
Because,
well, that we're like self-aware enough to.
Yeah, that was not a thing in the past.
Right. Yeah. You just like your feelings happened to you.
Right. You're the victim of your feelings. Like, exactly. Oh God. Oh, these emotions.
I'm being victimized by my own brain.
Why brain? Because. Chemicals. What? Trauma? What? Neurons.
Yes.
Oh.
Broken pathways. Here we go. Oh, you spilled some milk. Time to hit the road. No one will ever love you ever again.
Mom and Dad hate me now. They'll never forgive me for spilling this milk. I'm such a trash person. This milk could have helped somebody.
This milk cost money.
I feel really bad for this kid that we've developed that has trauma.
The milk trauma.
He really took it to heart. He really thought about it.
Milk trauma. It's the best kind of
It's a good
trauma.
analogy, though.
Right. Like...
the way you do it to yourself.
Mm-hmm. And then, like, I don't know, our instinct has always been to run.
Yeah.
Like other people.
Literally the first instinct I had and said out loud was, time to
go. We're leaving.
Yeah.
Abandon this life for another.
Yep.
Yeah.
Poor Jen was like, no, we don't. She just saw it happening and couldn't stop it.
I lost my mind at my husband over no soliciting signs.
Really?
At one point. Because he wanted like big red obnoxious ones.
Oh.
And I was like, you cannot put anything red outside of my fucking house. I do not need people looking at us. Like, huge, major fucking overreaction. Like,
right.
Big, obvious overreaction. And I had to like puzzle it out and go, okay, what is my actual problem? And then I had to reapproach him because he was confused and annoyed and just like, why are you being so combative?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what I was doing. And so I was like, I'm going to just fight you now. I don't know.
It's time to fight.
It's time to fight. We're going to war. Ready to go.
Do it.
So I had to like come back and explain and be like, I need a sense of being anonymous.
Exactly.
In order to feel safe.
You don't want people to, you don't want to draw attention to yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but it's hard. And it's hard when you, like, your first reaction is that really big overreaction and just illogical and irrational.
I had something similar happen. I was talking to Bob, our grandfather, and he was talking about how the neighbors came up to the house because the sprinkler, one of the sprinklers was broken. And in my head, I was like, oh God, we have to fix that. Like, if the neighbors are complaining about it, and they weren't, they were just trying to be friendly. If they take morning walks, and they're like, one of your sprinklers looks like the Bellagio, or like, and I was like, oh,
nice.
See, not even a big deal. But my brain was like, oh God.
Yeah, time to run.
Let's do something. Something has to happen.
Time to go somewhere where they will never find me ever.
Right. And I'm not even like the sprinklers aren't even my thing.
No.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, it's those like big visceral overreactions where you're like, I could not control that response.
I'm sure with practice you could.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Which
is,
like,
I guess, what we have to work on.
Recognizing it, and I think we're doing a lot of like shifting and practicing.
Yeah.
And that kind of, it's interesting because we go into this, we're very comfortable in our ways, I guess.
That's
to an extent.
That's it.
But things are also changing.
Yeah.
Which is hard because we're not great at change, I guess.
Or
I mean, we're very flexible.
Yeah. Well, it's like there's two settings to it. There's absolutely, I'm malleable to everything at the moment. Like, I'm going to change my entire lifestyle right now. I'm going to move to another state, change my name. I'm going to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I've had that happen where we've had to completely pack up and move and become different people, basically.
Yeah. Yep.
For Jen's work or other things. And
right.
Or you don't want to change at all because you got yourself into a comfortable position and then you want to protect that. Like,
well, and I think there's also that like third piece where you're like, change means the unknown.
Yeah.
And it's hard when you're like, things are changing in the body is changing and doing new shit and fucked up shit, and it just is what it is. It's horrible, and it's always horrible, but like we are comfortable with our like understanding of mindfulness and all of that, and like we think we're doing a really good job coping. And then we fall into those days where we're like, I cannot anymore. Nope, there is no more cope.
Right.
At all.
Yeah, no shit.
So,
like that day, I tried everything I could think of, and I wasn't getting anywhere until you said, you know.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, good.
Right.
Okay. Get it together, idiot. Right. Build a ladder, you idiot.
It's a lot of like reframing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thinking about things in a different light, and
because all of the solutions I was trying were like ways to treat the anxiety and pain instead of accepting it.
Right.
So I was like, everything
like
I had was like,
through it.
I need to soak, I need to stretch, why isn't anything working? Which was making it even worse, you know, the buildup.
Well, that's the thing is like we want to run from our own body. And it's not possible. It cannot be done. But yeah, like you want to run from the pain. You want to like prevent the pain. You want to like wall off the pain. You want to like all of that instead of, I don't know, kind of just being with it and letting it be and letting it exist. But yeah, no, we have some work ahead of us, I think.
Oh my God, dude. Well, I mean, we had a whole hour-long conversation before this.
Right. Jesus.
I mean, it was a good conversation.
Yeah.
And there's lots to think about now, right?
Yeah. Well, and a lot of it comes back to that, like, oh, that thing that I'm like used to doing or comfortable with is actually a trauma response.
Right.
Oops.
Exactly. Like I don't have to react that way. I can figure out ways to be okay.
Right. Well, and it's interesting because we haven't had anything, I don't know, like triggered the PTSD for a long time.
Yeah, no, I haven't had a.
And so we were like, we're doing so well.
Oh God.
And then we hit a trigger and we're like, oh, shit.
I think that's why it hit me really fucking hard too. It's because it was like instant and out of nowhere.
Yeah. It's like a regression, right? Like instantly your brain goes, okay, 5-year-old mode. Like, here we go.
And for a child. Where's my blankie?
Exactly.
Where's my comfort item?
My thumb. Like, what? Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think we get complacent.
Well, and it's hard to practice your skills and stuff when you're not.
Right. When you don't have that, like.
You're not practicing them all the time.
Challenge, yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's hard to practice your skills when you're like, you don't feel like you need them at the moment.
Right.
It's like when you decide to stop taking your meds, almost, right?
I haven't done that yet. I've been good about my meds.
Yeah.
But there are days when I'm like, I'm just going to stop.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's exactly that.
Yeah. So man. Mindfulness is hard work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, and you have to practice it.
Yeah.
And I'm not good at practicing it. I'm getting better.
I think we are getting better.
Because of the podcast especially.
Yeah.
We're more accountable. And...
Right. Well, and we're more, I think, explorative too.
Yeah.
And like thinking about different ways of doing things.
That's fair.
Like what did I say? Like I took down the idea because I was thinking about it earlier in the week. And I wound up talking to the school counselor, and she's just like, what if you changed your relationship with the pain? And for me, I was all like, I don't need to do that.
Right.
I'm really good at being in pain, like whatever. And she took it and she reframed it again. And it's so interesting how you could have someone say the same thing, but you need it said a different way.
Exactly.
And then it makes sense. And then you can adopt it, and then you can reframe it and use it. And it's so silly how like...
Well, okay, it sounds condescending when said a certain way. Like, you just let it be.
Right.
If I say, just accept the pain...
You're like, no, fuck you.
Off.
You don't know what it's
right, like if I'm having a bad day and someone's like, just accept it.
Right.
Excuse you?
Which is so weird because that's like, I can't believe I didn't make that connection. That's making me crazy right now because my whole thing right now in my world, because my world is in flux constantly,
right,
is that like I'm really flexible. I'm really good at like thinking on my toes and all this stuff. And then I'm like, oh,
it just takes
never mind.
The one person with the one sentence, and then you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. And it was like, oh, fuck, I have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
I got some stuff I got to work through.
I think it's better to think of it as you've made progress. You got to a point where you had everything under control.
Yeah.
And then things they kind of evolved, and you're learning how to move on to the next phase, right? You're evolving. You're not...
Right.
It's not like you were doing it wrong to begin with. You're just growing now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have a lot of growth.
It's like leveling up, and like you get a whole new map.
Right.
That I'm like, oh, hey,
exactly.
There's a lot of map
look at all
here.
this stuff I can do now.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, it's interesting because how did I word it? Oh, okay. So I said mindfulness versus acceptance. Do we spend mindful time with our pain? Why would you want to?
Why?
Right? Like, why would you want to? Do we trick ourselves into thinking we're grounding while still rejecting the experience of pain?
Yes. I'd say that's a yes.
Yeah.
At least that's your gut reaction to it.
Right.
I'm sure people that deal with it normally, but at least for us specifically.
Like and that's exactly it. We get flighty when we're like, oh, I'm going to have to experience this. So turning that around, I think I'm hoping is going to make a difference in like how I'm thinking and feeling about everything. But yeah, it's going to be challenging.
No joke.
That's new. Like being able to be like, okay, I guess we're going to let the pain in. And it was interesting the way she said it. She was like, you could take just a minute during your day and let some in and sit with it and then go back to what you're doing. And then take a minute and let some in and then go back to what you're doing.
Yeah, you're letting go of all that tension that builds up. That's brilliant.
Right. Because we have to like maintain a level of tension.
It's like I said, it's so fucking annoying because it's
like,
so
how
obvious.
How did I not come into that? Like, our whole thing right now is that nothing is forever. But then we're like, oh, these coping skills that we have, we don't need to practice them anymore. We're doing great. Fuck. No.
It is the same thing as when you stop your meds. You're like, I'm fine now. I don't need to take these anymore. And then,
Yeah. Damn it. Yep.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
You want to call it break time?
I think so. I think we're at a good spot. So, I hope you know what you need to do, but we're going to tell you anyway.
Yep.
So you need to take your meds, drink your water, have a snack because you deserve it. Find some sunlight, maybe.
Yeah, if you can. Enjoy outside.
Yeah.
And
get some fresh air.
Give yourself a minute to be with your pain if you're in it. If it's bad, it's okay.
Yeah. It's interesting because there's different ways to do it too.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm like body scan I could do, or I could just like wait a minute and notice. And I find that the easiest one for me and the most natural feeling one is just like breathing back into my body. Yeah,
exactly.
Right?
Breathing was my first when we were talking about it.
Yeah.
It's like you got to breathe it in. Like.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, for me, it's like putting myself back into my body.
Yeah.
Like reinstating my like consciousness in my body. So
give that a shot. If
give
you
it a
can.
try.
It might help. It might not, but it's something.
We're gonna practice. See what happens.
Also, join the Discord if you can.
Mm-hmm.
If you can.
Like, share, subscribe.
Shells.
It hurts me every time. I hope you know. But we love you.
If you enjoy it, share it with people that might need it.
Yeah. That's
all.
Our conversation.
All right.
So we'll see you in a minute.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome back. How was your break? Did I cut her off mid-sentence? We'll never know.
I'd say something, but he's only going to gaslight me.
I will not. I will admit that I do this sometimes.
And what is it you do?
I don't remember. You lead her right up to it, and then you just...
You're like, here, you want some candy? Smack!
Is good.
Is good.
No!
Hit him with a baseball bat instead.
Ooh.
Whew. That escalated quickly.
Yeah, just a bit. Did you do the things? Did you drink your water?
And take your meds?
Good. Or not good. If you didn't, shame on you. You should know better.
But also be nice to yourself.
Yeah, try harder next time. Be more considerate.
Of your own self.
Of yourself.
Mm-hmm. It's hard. It feels wrong to even say. You're like, ugh, ugh, ugh.
Fair. I had a Bo Burnham quote pop in my head.
Which one?
Not for you, just the people that have to fucking deal with you. That's how I feel about it. Like, yes. I got to do it for the people around me. Just a bit.
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna talk, kind of stemming from the PTSD stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There was stuff that was discussed with me that I didn't know,
mm-hmm.
and it made me feel really guilty.
Yeah. Guilty
and upset at the same time. Like, I wasn't angry. I was hurt.
Yeah.
That these people care.
Right.
Is that weird?
Right. Well, it's like, I think part of it is like the anonymity piece.
Right. I don't want to be noticed. You don't
want them to be talking about you, like, as a casual topic.
Right.
Because that feels fucking weird. You're like, I don't know, at least for me, like, I'm big on, like, I don't want to have my name in anyone else's mouth ever.
I get it.
But yeah. No.
Well, and it was more than that too, because it was like it's a big deal if you think about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into details, but someone made a big consideration for me without me knowing, and like it blows my mind. I'm super grateful,
mm-hmm.
but upset that it had to. I guess upset at myself that it had to happen.
Mm.
You know, that someone would go out of their way because of my issues to do something so nice.
Yeah.
So kind of like a burden, but it's like she's not obligated to do it, right?
Right.
So it just
feels weird to have someone like take like heavy consideration of you.
Yeah.
Like long-term consideration.
Yeah, no shit.
And then make a sacrifice based on that consideration.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel so bad.
That's a big deal. Yeah.
I feel guilty as hell.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
I don't know how to process it.
I don't know, it's like your chair. Like, I hate that this exists, but also, damn it, it's helpful.
I do hate that chair, but I don't hate Jenny.
No,
I mean...
but you hate that she had to make that consideration.
Yes.
Right, like.
Yeah, I wish things were not the way they are.
Yeah.
So that people could have normal lives and not change plans, like life plans, based on my situation.
Right. Well, and that makes sense because, like, I don't know. I had the same thing, like midweek. I had like a full blown meltdown over, like, what I'll be able to do and how long I'll be able to do it.
Right. Exactly.
And for me, that turned into this, like, if this is this difficult now, should I even be thinking about bringing kids into the world or
right.
like doing these big life moves? Like,
that's tough to process. I mean, it's like we've said before, like, would I do kids again?
Yeah.
I think the true answer is I would at the same age. I wouldn't when
right.
like at the age I am now.
Right. Well, and that's where I'm at, where I'm like, should I have had kids already? Like,
right.
Is it too late? Is it gonna ruin me to the point where I am leaving a burden for my husband? Like, not that I'm like gonna die or anything.
No, but
like
he'll have to pick up more slack.
Right, exactly.
So
and
it's
like,
heavier on him.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say it's not just him though. You'll have help.
Yeah.
You'll have like his family
mm-hmm.
and Sophie. Sophie will take care of kids. She's almost old enough.
Yeah.
You have us. I'm great with babies.
Right.
I'm the baby god.
Yeah. Like, I know I would have help, but I just like.
I know.
It was a hard thing because I was so like, I got in my car and I like cried on my way home from work. I think it was like Tuesday. It was just so bad. I was like, this is so early in the week and it's so bad already and I'm exhausted and everything hurts and I've not been like in a good mood, which I hate because I'm like, I don't like being
right.
the attitude at work. Like, that bothers me too. But it was like, it stemmed from a place of like, you know, when people ask your advice and then blatantly ignore it because it wasn't what they wanted to hear.
Drives me nuts.
There was a lot of that. And so like, in meetings and things, I've just been like, I'm not even going to give my opinion because no one hears it anyway. There's no point. So let me know when you finalize whatever it is you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But like getting to that point and being like, I have a responsibility to these kids. And just like, I would just go home and crash. Like, how am I supposed to do more than that?
Yeah. Well,
and that's hard.
We've talked about this before, but like the trying to make plans when you don't know where you're going to be in the future,
right,
is insane.
Because
you never know. Like you could get a good couple of months, but then it could also just turn to hell afterwards.
Right.
Like, who knows?
Right. Well,
and do you take that chance?
Yeah, exactly. And this is first quarter, so I'm like, we haven't even hit winter yet.
Oh, yeah. Well, think of it this way: you're getting a care team too.
Yeah.
So,
thank God.
And you're actively working towards managing your pain.
Yeah.
In general, even with like out meds or you're working on your coping skills and
right.
It's just overwhelming and horrible.
Yes. Well, and it's hard to communicate too. Where I'm like, I'm so incredibly burnt out. Like.
Well, who would you tell?
Right.
People at work, but then they'd feel bad for you, and
right, and I don't need that.
Right.
Like, oh, it was interesting when my coworker had that issue. That night we were texting. She was like, "I'm really nervous about going back to work," and she was like, "I don't even know why." And I was like, "It's because you literally you had to be vulnerable with other people, and you're not sure how they're going to respond come tomorrow." Yep. So. Yeah, and she was like, "Holy shit, that's exactly it." And I was like, "Yeah, I get it. I understand." It's like when I would pass out at work and be like, "Please, no one look at me."
Yeah.
If this happens, we are not to call an ambulance, and all of you just turn your back, unless you would like to point and laugh, which is acceptable.
Allowed.
Yeah, that is an acceptable response to. Oh, Karina passed out. Loser.
That's not good self-talk. It's bad self-talk.
It wouldn't be self-talk. It's other people.
You're
talking.
encouraging other people to do something negative towards you, though.
It's funny.
It is funny. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just pointing out.
If I make it funny, then people don't take it quite so seriously.
It's true.
Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, no passing out at work. That's just embarrassing. No, thank you. But yeah, no, how dare other people want to take care of us? How dare?
It's so foreign to me.
Yeah.
I can't even, like, how do you repay somebody for doing something like, right? I don't know.
Yeah. And like casually.
Yeah,
It did it casually.
Yeah.
Without even necessarily like having a conversation.
Dude, yeah, no, I wouldn't have known. If I hadn't had my PTSD freak out, the whole topic would have never been brought up and I wouldn't know.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's heavy. It is. It's a heavy thing. Yeah.
Well, transitioning from that.
Yeah.
From that heavy subject.
I don't know where we were.
We were talking about the feeling of guilt or
Oh yeah. So like having, I don't know, it's that like being a burden piece, right? It's like
unintentionally when someone
feeling like other people have to accommodate for you,
that they are like, that's it's
and that they do it because they like you.
Right?
What
somebody
the fuck?
Cares about me?
Oh man, what is that?
Where'd this come from?
Thanks, Narwhal.
Exactly. Good kitty.
It's not a kitty, it's a bunny.
No, but that's what I said in the TikTok.
I know. I was quoting something else.
Yeah.
It's not a kitty, it's a bunny.
We're just throwing quotes at each other.
It's memery time. Woo!
But we wanted to, before we finish, we wanted to talk more about the new spasms that I've developed.
Oh, yeah.
And compare with Karina, the ones that she has.
Yeah. Because now that I have like a pain journal, I have like actual descriptions of how things feel. Which is interesting because it's so hard to like try to explain it retroactively.
Well, even writing them down, I have a hard time. Like, the pain was like a fly that landed in butterscotch in winter. I can't describe things correctly when I'm writing it down. Like, I can't capture it accurately. Okay. I feel. So it's like, I'm just like, it felt like somebody sold me to the devil.
I felt disrespected and degraded by my own flesh.
Yes.
I just like saying my own flesh.
My own flesh.
Flesh. It's a great word. Flesh. What are you looking at me for? Stop it. I'm afraid.
They told me that I was never going to be able to make paintings with my own. With
barbecue sauce
and my own urine. Cut that out too, please. But you said saying it, and that reminded me of my own urine.
All of them are gone.
Well, I wonder why.
I'm so sad.
PPQ guy is gone.
So funny. Like highbrow humor.
I might leave that in.
Oh.
PPQ guy. Rip.
Oh man. It was so good.
Anyway.
Don't let anyone tell you that you can't follow your dreams.
That was his whole spiel, basically.
Yes.
It was a positive
fantastic
message. Weird execution.
Weird execution. It's like us all the time. Good message. Weird execution.
I like them, but there's something off.
I'm trying to find one where I got like... Okay, so 10-4... We had bad spasms and jerking starting as soon as I relaxed at about 8 o'clock or so. Violent and painful, low frequency, so like small scale movements, but really intense and caused a lot of dislocation. So that night I lost my left shoulder, my left knee, threw out my neck, a couple ribs, a couple fingers, and my ankle dislocated fully. So that was that spasm spell. It was great fun. Yeah, spasms continued well after 10 o'clock, which was super fun. It's like 2-hour adventure of fucking spasms.
See, I deal more with tremors. Like, I get the shakes real bad.
Do you get the internal tremor?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of how everything started, and then that started turning into my body like biting me.
Yeah. Like I've been having the tremors for fucking ever.
Yeah.
And I've had random jerking before, just not repeatable, I guess. Like I couldn't trigger it.
Right.
Like I could trigger it now if I just tensed up my arm and tried to do something, it would jerk out. Which is so annoying.
Yeah. And it's that weird like on the edge feeling. Like,
yeah.
It's almost like it's almost like a sneeze, right?
Right.
Like you can feel the build, and then you have not necessarily like a choice, but you're either going to let go and spasm really hard, or you can like back away slowly.
Well, you can try to back away. Right. Yeah. But I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, and it seems like a bigger issue than I thought it was, because it seems like a lot of other people, like in the Facebook groups, are you trying to make it happen?
I'm trying to fight it. Like,
well, and when you fight it, it gets like stronger. It's horrible.
It gets stronger the more you fight it.
You must accept it. Accept the pain.
You were saying Facebook groups.
Oh yeah, people in the Facebook groups. I've been seeing a lot of people who are like, "Does anyone else have really bad spasms?" and blah blah blah. You just did it, huh? Good job.
Yay! I did a thing. It was like nope, just.
Well, and then comparing to my coworker, it was really interesting because obviously they don't dislocate. So, like when she's finished with the episode, she's exhausted and everything hurts, but like her body held itself together.
Right.
Whereas mine is like, I don't.
When I've jerked, I felt my shoulder sublex, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it jerks hard enough and it pulls down.
Yep.
Because it wants to go out that way.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So we just like dislocate with the spasms, and I'll have like, I don't know, you know the bad burning ones?
Yes.
I get the slow burn and then thunk. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, and the way you describe it, it always reminds me of like a horror film where like you're like sitting there and your knees like fine, and then all of a sudden twitch, and then like it's dislocated, but like an Evil Dead or something.
Exorcism.
Imagine like like fully out, like how'd that happen? Spasm. It's just a spasm.
Yeah, it's great. Fucking horrible. Yeah, and the more I learn about them, the more I'm like, okay, so this is like a thing. This is a thing.
And this is something you would talk to like a neurologist, right?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Right? And they're so hard to fucking like keep on the schedule.
Is
such a pain.
Is I can't remember his name. Spinal guy? He's a neurologist? Or is he I think so. I could bring it up with him. The guy who's gonna do the implant.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember my doctor's name. I feel bad.
I have that a lot. I'm like, I see so many people that the only ones I remember are the ones I see like regularly.
Soraya.
Oh.
Spelled weird.
It's a pretty name though.
It is.
I like that.
Dr. Soraya.
Huh.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like looking at it's just weird looking at my own pain journal.
Well, and then you have to remember it.
Yeah. Oh, he's a neurosurgeon.
Wow. Okay. He might know somebody.
They'd be able to like direct you, I'm sure. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I don't know. And then my neck always goes out with the spasms because of course I have the retrocollis. Randy made fun of me. It was really bad. He was like, because it was starting and it was like a soft one, and he was just like, yeah, sup. And I was like, fuck you.
Yeah, no shit. You say it, I'm like,
And he says that when they're soft like that and you resist them, it just looks like a what's up. And then I tried to resist it and my head went whoosh all the way back. And he was like, oh, okay, so if you resist it too much, you just look like you're trying to do a backflip. I was like, God damn it.
Does it feel like a tick almost? Like an involuntary that...
Yeah. But it's not something that I can like stop.
I've been getting something similar, but it's like a weird position. It's like...
It's also like
I get that.
Okay.
Which is bizarre, and I don't know why that happens.
It feels like you know, when someone's like, oh, the chill ran up my spine. Yeah. It feels like that, and that's that like muscle building. And then then I also get like tingling all the way around. So I can feel it all the way up into my skull, and I can feel it around the front and into my jaws. And I'm learning that the spasming is all in here as well, and that's why like when it gets bad I slur, because the muscles in my face are not functioning correctly. But yeah, so it's like a tingle, and then it feels like, and I also feel it in my ears a lot.
Oh yeah.
So I'll feel like
I'm wondering if I have the same thing going on. I almost triggered it.
Might be.
I stopped
I
myself.
know
I was like,
when I'm like thinking about it, because I can feel the tension here.
Yeah.
Already, and I'm like, I could crack my neck or I could go into spasms.
That's the thing. It's like it feels like when I try and self-crack it just by turning, but it's like a really hard jerk.
Yeah.
And it like.
Well, and yours goes a different way. So mine goes straight back, but it's also like I don't know. It's like
mine's
everything
very specifically like
together.
That right left.
Oof. So you get the roll.
Yeah. Apparently.
Yeah. But yes, no, that's the head jerking, and it feels like a tick, because at first I. Like, you know, the gaslighting we do to our own selves.
Yes.
You're like, maybe you decided to move like that. Because your brain can't differentiate because you're still moving.
The signal. Yeah.
And so you're like, I had an involuntary movement, but my body's like, oh, maybe that was voluntary.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, maybe I did that.
The first few times I had the arm thing, I was like, you did that. That
maybe
was
I
just
decided to do that. Yeah. It's so hard. Why do we have to be like that? God damn it. Like, oh, I'm doing this to myself on purpose. Also alone in my bedroom.
If anybody else experiences the same thing, let us know.
Yeah.
Because confirmation bias. I need to know other people have this going on. It's not just us.
Well, and there's different ones too, right? Like you get the ones where it feels like your body bit you. Then you get like burning. I hate the burning. It's really bad. And then you get like the long contraction.
Yes.
Where it just pulls really tight.
I get that in my legs.
Really slow.
My legs get that real bad. I don't know how to stop it either. Like it gets to the point where it's like a Charlie horse where it really hurts, and it
just builds and builds and builds. Yeah.
Like stop.
And then eventually it gets to a point where it does that like boop 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 boop. Yeah. It's terrible. It is. It feels like a sneeze almost, because you can feel it building, and you're like, no, 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 no. Jesus. And that's where I have to like really practice the mindfulness, because the fear of it coming on, because you can feel it starting to happen, and you're like, oh no, here we go again. As
an aside, have you ever fought a sneeze? Like, have you ever felt a sneeze come up your spine and then you forcefully stopped it?
Yes.
Did it feel like you did the worst thing on the planet? Like you wronged the universe?
You almost feel like you're turning inside out.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't physically painful, but I felt wrong. I do it and I go, it just feels like I've done something horrible. You know what I mean? Like I've gone against nature, God's way, and I'm like, no, I will not. I don't know, and I've done it a couple times where I'm just like, no,
I will not sneeze.
And then afterwards I feel guilty and ashamed.
I've never had the guilty and ashamed part from not sneezing.
Well, it's because you don't care about nature. I care.
Oh my God. Okay, so I don't know if this one will resonate with you. So this was like flushing on the left side. Headache and congestion occurs with it.
Headache.
Which is interesting. I get this really strong tension in my arms and neck. It makes me feel like I have to move. Like, you have to move. I'm hot to the touch and my head is so heavy. I'm working hard to fight the fight, freeze. I've taken to pausing and taking a moment to sit with the pain. But that
whole post.
Yeah, that whole like I don't know. You feel like you have to move. Like, you have to. There's just, you can't stop it.
It kind of reminds me of like I get these stretch fits.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was the other one. I got stuck in a flippin' yawn. Like, I got stuck in a yawn.
No, I understand.
And that was weird. And then that like vomit out my lungs feeling.
Ugh.
That one is not nice either.
I was getting it where like it was like a body scan, but it's stretching. So like every individual part of my body has to be stretched.
Oh, okay.
And it's bad because I pop something in my abdomen.
Eek.
Like right above the pelvis. Something snaps when I do it.
Ugh.
And I don't know what it is. I'm not sure if it's something like catching and snapping or if I'm popping something.
Interesting.
Because it feels more forward.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be like the hip or anything.
Like in the front of your pelvis?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's like, like your psoas.
Yeah. See, I was wondering.
If it's like snapping against, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I know they had to lengthen my psoas so I could like figure shit out.
It hurts a little bit, but at the same time, it's just a pop, you know?
Yeah.
So
I do that a lot where I have to like clench and pull my pelvis forward.
Yep.
And stuff snaps and pops along the way.
But like I get those fits in bed. I have to lay down and then like stretch every bit of me, and then I'm good to go.
I do the like I'll start a stretch and then bad things happen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought it was that was the other one. I had one in here that was like, I thought it was a yawn, turned into head jerking.
Thought it was a fart. It's one of those. Like I thought this was just something simple.
Yeah. I thought I just needed to stretch, and now I'm inside out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inside Out Boy.
It's not nice.
You probably don't know that reference.
I don't know.
It's from Nickelodeon. He was a claymation of a boy who he was on a swing, and then he swings all the way around and becomes Inside Out Boy, and then he talks about organs and stuff.
Ew. Yeah, I remember that. I don't like claymation. Something about claymation like
unsettling
is super unsettling. Yeah, I don't like it. I do not like it. Don't appreciate it.
Please no more claymation. No.
Yeah, and like the facial involvement is making me crazy these days. Because either I'm like slurring, or like I know my jaw is being pulled one way or the other. It's not nice.
I hate the yawning fits that pop my jaw. Yeah. Like I can't pop my jaw, but if I yawn, it snaps. Like it drops down on this side and becomes uneven for a bit, and then it just like slides down. I guess.
Fucking stupid. Bodies are dumb, guys.
Oh, you can see it.
Oh wow.
You see that?
We're just like interesting.
Yeah. Just dislocate your jaw.
I think it's like perpetually dislocated, if we're being honest.
Fair.
Yeah. And then I pinch my ears with my jaw all the time.
Ooh.
Which I hate. Hate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the spasms that's its own beast. There's something about it that is just...
Well, and you can't...
It's like being hijacked.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting hijacked, but it's also sapping all of your energy. And it hurts.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Exactly.
Like, none of the meds have helped you, so...
No.
Oh, boy.
I can take Percocet and then go to sleep. Or try to go to sleep. But usually it's like, take Percocet and then just wait it the fuck out. Oof. And some of them take hours, and some of them are fine in like a minute and a half. Like, I'll have really bad like head jerking for like 30 seconds, and then it'll go away. It's just so unpredictable. But also it's not, because I know if I've like worked out or had a really busy day or been really stressed out or the weather's changing. Yeah, and the weather's really key too. Because if the weather's getting crazy, I can feel the tension inside of me building. Right.
And then tensing up everything makes everything worse. So
yeah.
It's part of that. It goes along with letting it go. Like, yeah.
Well, and just accepting that it's gonna happen.
Letting your body relax.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is like we have learned to fight relaxation.
Yep.
Which leaves us in this really horrible place of not being able to ever relax.
Yeah, no shit.
And then our sleep is affected, and then the rest of our life is affected.
Yeah, everything gets so much worse.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. Damn. Do you want to call it?
Sure.
What do you want to call
it? Bob.
You can't name a planet Bob.
You don't have to live on Bob. Okay. It's my planet. I'm naming it Bob.
I made that reference in a Discord call. No one got it. Sad moment.
I haven't seen that movie in a hot minute.
Yeah, me either.
I need to go find it.
Was it Titan AE?
Uh-huh.
That's the ending?
Yeah.
What are you going to call it? Bob.
You can't name a planet Bob. I can do whatever I want. Yes.
Well, all right.
All right. Well, thanks for coming along as we kind of meandered today.
Yeah, it was more of a talk sesh.
Yeah.
Trying to talk through some stuff.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of like thinking out loud.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that like our thought process maybe resonates with you a little bit.
Yeah. If you have any thoughts on anything we said, share.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're very curious about the spasms, because it seems like we're not alone. So yeah. If you too suffer from being hijacked by your body, it's like my body has Tourette's. That's what it is.
Just your body, yeah.
Just my body.
Because you're not a part of that.
No. It's just the body has Tourette's.
I get it. I totally get it. All right. Well.
Take care. Be kind to yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Take a mindful minute. And we'll see you next time.
Indeed.
Bye.
Bye.